Today I'm going to be doing some maintenance on our Claas triple mower. I'm going to be checking all the knives, making sure none of them are bent or dull. I'm going to be checking the oil in the gearbox. The gearbox is, I think there's 6 of them in total on here. I also am going to change the oil in the cutter bars. There's 3 cutter bars in this machine. And I'm going to go over it with a grease gun and hit all the grease zerks also. So these doors on the sides of the mower and the front get really corroded and rusty from all the grass, the juice from the grass. And I use this Kimball Midwest Torque CB penetrating oil for that, and it works really good. I usually only have to do it twice a year, and just to keep them freed up, because if you don't do that, they seize up really fast. So I'm going to get started on that. You can already tell they move a lot easier. Once that penetrating oil soaks in, it'll make a big difference. When the tractor is turned off, you can spin these by hand. As you can see, most of the blades are still in pretty good shape. This one's fairly dull. These are reversible, so you can flip them over and it'll use the other side. This one's already been flipped, and you can see that side's pretty chewed up just from hitting rocks and dirt. This one still has a good edge. This one I can just rotate. So the nice thing about these Claas mowers is they have quick change knives, and the front and the back mowers both come with a tool like this. To switch the blade, all you do is you put this tool in here, press down, blade comes right out. So this is the edge we were using, and I'm going to rotate it to this new edge. This makes it really easy for changing knives out in the field. You don't have to have any tools. You don't have to bring wrenches along out to the field. It works really good. So a lot of mowers or disc bines have conditioners that break the stem in the alfalfa or the grass, whatever you're cutting. But we chose not to go that route with our mower. This is the second Claas triple mower setup we've had, and it just takes a lot less power to run these mowers without the conditioners, and we don't do very much dry hay, so there's no need to condition the hay or crimp it because it dries fast enough this way. So I'm going to go along here and change all these, either change them or flip them over. So the way these mowers work is there's each one turns the opposite way. Every other one turns the opposite way. So there are 2 different knives. There's right-hand knives and left-hand knives. And I like to get the ones that are different colors, so it makes it really easy to know which one takes right hand knife and which one takes a left hand knife. There's also arrows on them that show the direction that the knife turns. So that makes it easy to tell also. We don't go through very many knives. We usually go through a box of right-hand knives and a box of left-hand knives in a year. Usually 2 boxes gets us through the whole year. Most of the time when we need to change knives is when we hit rocks, and usually that's when we're doing custom jobs for neighbors and other people that maybe don't pick their rocks as much as they should. We have a lot of stones in our ground in northeast Wisconsin, in this area, and usually try to pick them all, but sometimes you miss a couple. And somehow the mower always finds them. Okay, so we got all the dull or bent blades changed. Next, I'm going to have to remove one of the turtle shells, we call them, so I can check the oil level and see what the oil looks like. If it looks like it's low or dirty, I'm going to drain it and put fresh oil in it. Alright guys, so I got the shoe taken off the bottom of the cutter bar. There's also that other pan that comes off the bottom of the cutter bar. I think it's called the rock guard. And then that shows the drain plug, which is right there. I believe, if I remember right, it's a metric 22 socket that I'm going to need. See if I remember right. I should have worn my gloves. Probably wouldn't have had to change the oil. Alright, so since the drain plug is on this side, I need the cutter bar to be at an angle in order to drain all the oil out of it. So I'm going to grab this floor jack. Now while we're waiting for it to drain, I'm going to remove one of these turtle shells. That's what this part is called. Kind of looks like a turtle shell. I think that's a 15 millimeter socket. Yep, 15 millimeter. and then we're going to remove these 4 bolts. Really tight on there. There we go. Probably should have washed this first. It's a lot of grass buildup in here. And I have to grab a wire brush and clean everything off around here so that when I remove this cover or this hub, we don't get any dirt or hay falling down into the cutter bar. Don't forget your safety glasses. Safety first. We like our grinders with no guards around here. Take them off. That's the first thing we do when we buy a new one. Okay, now we're ready to take these bolts out all the way around. I think there's 10 of them. There's 8 of them. And that's not a 15, it must be a 16 or a 17. Not a 17. Metric 16. Okay, now this should lift right out. So there's big planetary gears, only about 1 inch thick. And they drive these other gears. A little bit of rust on there, not sure why, because there's plenty of oil in it. So now we'll just set that back in there and wait for probably another 30 minutes for the rest of the oil to drain out. Alright, now we're gonna check the gearboxes on the front mower. If you look on the top, there's this fill plug right here. And there should be a dipstick on the end of it. There's these little marks on the end of it. The oil is supposed to be between those 2 marks. It's right at the top mark. I also change the oil in these gearbox boxes every year just for precautionary measures. We've had a seal go out on one and all the oil drained out. We had to replace it and they're not cheap. So it's the next day today. I'm getting back to my project here, working on the Claas triple mower. I'm going to start by cleaning up my work area a little bit. So yesterday I drained the oil on the car bar and I put fresh oil in. And as I was down there, I saw that these skid shoes, one of these skid shoes is wore through on the back side. So I'm going to have to take that off, and we don't have any more of these replacement ones. So I'm going to have to run to the Claas dealership up the road and grab a couple new ones. So now I'm going to work at taking that shoe off that's wore through. So as I was saying, these skid shoes, they wear out after a while, and you can see this one right here is worn all the way through. As far as I can tell, the rest of them are good. So this is one that still has some life left in it. As you can see, there's no holes in it, and this is what it looks like when they're wore out. So I'm gonna have to run to the dealership and see if they have some of those in stock. We have arrived. So on my way home from the Claas dealership, I'm gonna stop and check on the hayfield that I cut the other day. In my last video, the owner just called and he said there's a chance of rain. Said there's a chance of rain this afternoon, so he would like it baled if possible. So they're still due. For baleage, we usually like the hay to be around 50% moisture. I'll probably bring the tedder out here and fluff this up just to try to get it to dry as much as possible. He just has beef cattle, so it probably would be better to have the hay a little on the drier side. I'm guessing it's still at probably 65%, maybe 70%. See, the deer were out here last night. There's deer tracks in the windrow. So this is one of the fields I cut, and then there's another field on the other side of the road. So I'll drive over there and check that one next. This field has a lot more clover in it. The other field was mostly grass. And clover doesn't dry down as fast as grass. So this field will for sure need to be tedded. This one is definitely 70%, if not wetter. This field is second crop. That field is third crop. So this is definitely going to be a heavier crop. Still a lot of dew on this. It's like 9:30 in the morning. So after I'm done working on the triple mower, I'm gonna hook up the tedder, bring that out here, and try to get this hay all tedded. Alright guys, so I made it back with the parts that I needed. I got 3 of the skid shoes, and then 3 of these spring shields, or I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but they're spring steel, and they hold the knife on. That's what the knife sits on. Before I put those on, I'm going to go to the back mower and drain the oil out of the right rear wing. So first of all, I need to grab a bucket. and a metric Allen wrench. So these ones drain a little differently. This is the drain plug right here. So I got my metric Allen wrench. They have a little magnet on the end that collects any filings. There's definitely some on there, but it's not too bad. This oil is a little darker than the other cutter bars, or than the front one was anyway. So we'll let that drain. Alright, so the first step is to put this rock guard back on. Held in place with 4 bolts. So there's 2 bolts in the back and 2 in the front. Okay, the next step is going to be putting on a skid shoe, which is going to be one of the new ones that we just bought. This hooks in a slot in the front, and then there's 2 bolts on the back, or 2 nuts on the back that hold it in place. And now the front mower is all good to go. Alright, so now that all the oil is drained out, I'm going to put this drain plug back in. There's a copper washer in there that seals it. I'm going to start the tractor and fold the wing down so I can take one of those hubs out to refill it with oil. Just gotta wait for the monitor to boot up. Push the screen. And then this button unlocks the wings. Alright, now that we got the wings folded down, I picked them back up part way, and now I'm gonna lock them. It's a safety lock. Now we can remove that hub. It doesn't really matter which one. They're all the same. This mower takes an Allen wrench to get this cover off. Just gonna clean that out. I'll hit it with the air hose. That is not good. It was not supposed to be on there. I poured the new oil in and I put this cap back on, and I replaced one of these nuts that was messed up a little bit. So now I got to put the spring plate back on. Make sure the holes are lined up in the top. This piece goes on next. So my sister Lydia is going to ted that hay that I checked this morning, but I told her I'd get it hooked up for her. So that's what I'm going to do now. So we have this T6050 New Holland loader tractor that we use for a lot of our haying, mainly raking and tedding, and then we use it to collect bales sometimes too. It's been a really reliable tractor for us. It has almost 4,000 hours on it. So this is a 6-basket Pottinger tedder. I believe it's 27.5 feet wide. So it can pretty much match up perfectly with our triple mower that I believe cuts 29 feet wide. But it pulls the hay in on the edges a little bit, so you can pretty much follow right behind it with this tedder. So Lydia's going out to ted hay, that hayfield that I checked this morning. And I am just wrapping up on this project. The front mower is completely done. And I did both the back wings also. Changed the oil in the cutter bars and replaced a couple parts here and there that were worn. So pretty much just have to pick up my tools and then this thing will be ready to go. So we have about 300 acres of hay that we're going to try to cut down tomorrow. It's third crop. And then a week after that we'll have another 150 acres of hay to cut down of new seeding, second crop. So I just got out to the field where my sister's tedding. I had to adjust the height for her a little bit, set up for one of her other tractors. Hay is drying really good. Probably around 60% right now. I can planning to bale around 5 tonight. So I think it'll be dry enough by then.